All right, guys. The big hospitality tech players get all the headlines, but some of the most interesting companies in this space are ones you haven't heard of yet. This is The Next Ones, a new series on short conversations with the founders building what's coming next in hotel tech. Today, I'm with Guy Buse, who's the founder of Roch. So let's get into it. Let me bring him in. Hey, Guy, how you doing?
Ed, hi. Thank you for having me. I'm good.
Of course, absolute pleasure. Let me start with the question straight away then. So, what is Roch and what problem are you solving?
So we're the standards and certification body for dog-friendly hospitality, Ed. And that sounds very grand. But what we do in a nutshell is we assess, certify, rank and review dog-friendly hotels because not all dog-friendly hotels are created equal. And the main problem we're solving is the pet-friendly problem. It's the second or third most widely searched category in travel. And
Wow.
there's currently a consumer confidence crisis in the category. Dog owners don't trust the words pet-friendly because it means something different wherever they go. You know, at one hotel, it probably means steep fees and restricted to the room and no access to the bar, restaurant, or lobby or lounge. In another hotel, it could mean you and your dog are really well looked after. Nobody really knows, and you can't tell from looking at the pet friendly tag. The other problem with pet friendly is cat owners loathe the word. You know, they know it doesn't mean them. Something like 12% of pet friendly hotels let cats in. So the term confuses dog owners and excludes cat owners, which it's not a great way to lead a category. So what we do is dog friendly because 99% of the time, a guest turning up with a pet at your hotel, he's got a dog with it. And it's dog owners who are driving the revenue surge in the industry right now. So we focus on dogs. We're named after the patron saint of dogs, Saint Roch. And we're all about dog-friendly hospitality yet.
Amazing. There's music to my ears as I used to be a dog owner and I had this issue as well when I was traveling. So I totally understand the pain point that you're trying to solve. Um, I think I know the answer to this, but what made you start this?
I I've worked from home for a long time, like over the last 2 decades in California. I've been on the West Coast. I was working in tech, and a lot of the time I was working from home because I just like it. I like being at home with my dog. And my thing come the weekend was escaping the four walls of my apartment and home office and checking into a nice hotel because I made great money. And I did it religiously every year. Pretty much every weekend of some stretches, I'd take my girlfriend, get my dog, and we'd just go and find a really nice hotel for a weekend so I could escape where I lived and worked, and it was my thing. And because I grew up in hotels, my father used to build them. I
Right.
grew up around hotel building sites whilst living in a hotel, and that I kind of lived that all over the world with my parents. So I think hotels feel like home to me. It's one of the reasons that I always keep going back to them. But I kept running into the pet friendly problem. I kept being turned away from hotels I'd booked and paid for because my small female Labrador is, too big for the hotel. And I'd get to hotels. I think the final straw for me was I got to a beautiful 5-star hotel and spa my girlfriend chose. And she chose it because of all the pet friendly marketing.
Yeah.
And pictures of dogs by the pool in the gardens, and it was a Dolce window. And we got there for a long weekend, and I paid a lot of money per night extra to have the dog with me. It's like 150 extra a night, and you don't mind paying a fee if you've got freedom, access, services, amenities. But there was nothing. If dogs had to stay in the room. They weren't allowed on the bar terrace, restaurant terrace, in any of the gardens. So it was either leave my dog in the room, which I'm not going. I don't go on holiday with my dog to leave a dog in the room. It's not fair on the dog. Or not enjoy the hotel. Leave the hotel every day with my dog, and it made me really angry. But I've experienced that again and again and again and again, and I got so angry. I knew something had to be done, Ed. I knew something had to be done. I've known this problem needs to be fixed for years now. And I was meant to do something about it. And then one day I did. I thought,
Amazing.
I know what to do. And I started certifying and ranking and reviewing hotels. I got started really simply and just calling hotels up and talking to them and finding out what they did and figuring out how to rank them and assess them properly, assess them uniformly across thousands of hotels. We're now at the point we're ranking thousands of hotels, and I think we've 3,000 or 4,000 so far we've assessed, ranked, and reviewed, and it's been a hell of a journey. But we've identified across 56 countries the world's best dog-friendly hotels by a clear margin, by clear measure, clearly.
Wow.
You can see it in the data: services, facilities, amenities, dog walking. We ask, close to 60 data points we cover now. So we ask an awful lot of questions covering everything a dog owner would want to know. So they don't have to ask. They can come to our rochdog.com directory and see clearly the best places to stay and why. Honest reviews that tell you clearly what to expect, what the fees are, what the weight limits are, transparency and integrity. And it's what dog owners really, really wanted. And that's our motto, by the way. It's transparency and integrity for every dog and every journey. It's all dog owners really want, because we're tired of pet friendly, and we're tired of being bamboozled by pet friendly marketing, and no substance behind it when you turn up at a hotel. Tired of being turned away from bars, restaurants, and not being able to use any part of a hotel because you turned up with a dog. So we gravitate towards the good dog-friendly hotels where we know we're looked after. We know we can have a beer with our dog. We know we can sit down and have a meal with our dog. Because dogs are part of our family and they deserve good hospitality as well.
100%. Yeah. And until now, hotels haven't been made accountable to this, so it makes sense. Look, what stage are you at, Gal? I know last time we spoke, the traction that you've had is actually quite amazing. Where are you at in terms of that, and in terms of are you looking to raise? What's the team looking like?
So it's funny, we've been going for just under 2 years now, and my first year everything went very slowly. All I did was gather data. We didn't launch we published the world's first structured dog-friendly standard for hotels in January this year. But it took me a year to gather the data, to figure out how to fairly rank hotels, how to measure lots of them alongside each other and run comparative analysis. And we didn't really do anything for the first year. We picked up a handful of customers accidentally. We weren't doing much sales outreach because we were still gathering data. We're really a data company. And we won a few customers because they came to us. We had a directory, but we weren't really ranking and certifying and assessing in the way we are now. We were building our AI model, which is what goes out and does all the mystery shopping with hotels, calls them, emails them, asks them lots of questions about hotels whilst posing as an affluent dog owner wanting to stay. So we were in build mode and data gathering mode for a year. And then we launched our standard in January and had phenomenal success, more than I'd hoped for. We had some amazing customers sign up: St. Regis, Intercontinental, Kimpton, and plus some really, really good ones I can't name, who are about to come on board with us. The Aspen Institute. We've got hotel customers now in about 15 countries, but we operate in 50 countries, 50 plus, and certify and assess on a global scale. We're just starting to win business in Korea and Japan. But for now, most of our customers are in the US, North America, and Europe, United Kingdom, which tend to be the most dog-friendly countries outside of, Korea and Japan and China. But we're starting to get great traction overseas in Asia Pacific now, because they love a global standard of excellence. What we do is fair, so it's resonating with the market, and we're finding hotels increasingly, they spend a lot of money yet on amenities and services to make dog owners feel welcome, but they go into the market and they can't differentiate between them, what they offer, and the pet-friendly noise. They can't punch through that pet-friendly noise because everybody's pet-friendly, and the dog owner can't tell the good hotels apart. So they see us as validation. We're the only people who say you're an A+, they're an F. We rank fairly and accurately. Our ranks really do represent what you should expect at a hotel, and our customers love that. It lets them strongly differentiate in a very cluttered market and speak to dog owners in a way they understand. So we're just having tremendous success coming into our second year now, and we just kept getting busier and busier and busier, and the data set keeps growing larger and larger and larger. We've assembled the world's largest pet travel data set, I think, ever assembled by the hand and mind of man. It's millions of dog-friendly bars, trails, restaurants, parks, events, activities, hotels, border crossing advice for 100 countries, emergency vets in thousands of cities. And everything we do sits on top of this really well verified and validated data set of dog-friendly venues. Because what we're really trying to do is just help dog owners understand where to go, where they'll be treated well, and where they'll be looked after. You know, that's really all we do here at Roch. So we're having a tremendously good time. I just wish I got to stay at more of the hotels I ranked and reviewed. You know, we've got too many right now that we're working with and talking to. Some of the best brands, hotel brands in the world I work with. And it's tremendously gratifying that they see value in what we do and see it as a viable solution to the pet-friendly problem.
Yeah.
You know, we're entrenching a global standard of canine hospitality globally. And it truly is a global standard. It's becoming one this year. It's fantastic to see. Yeah. Yes, we have raised. We've raised from 2 investors so far. We started raising earlier this year. We've just moved our company from the UK to the US at the request of investors and raised from 2. We'll carry on raising throughout the rest of the year. We're raising our seed round. So we're still an early stage company yet.
Right. Good. My next question is, who's your solution for? But that's quite obvious. I think I should rephrase the question to, what's in it for hotels? It's clear, you know, why it helps, you know, the client, the guests, but why should hotels pay attention to being dog friendly? What's the point? What's the benefit to them?
Well, part of this data we've gathered, we've mapped everything: revenue streams, revenue playbooks, how hotels make money with dog friendly. And when you look at the numbers, they're very clear. Good dog friendly hotels treat dog friendly like a business, because that's what hospitality is. They're making, and it's money. Good dog friendly hotels generate, depending on the size of the hotel, anywhere between $600 to $4 million a year in incremental direct dog friendly revenue at the top end of the market. Our A-rank hotels selling $50, $100 chef designed dog bowls, dog walking services, dog spas, daycare sitting, you know, give complete access to the bars, the restaurants. They're making an enormous amount of money with it. And dog owners as a demographic are fantastic guests to have. They stay longer than regular guests by about 30%. They come back at 3 times the rate of regular hotel guests, because once they find a hotel that looks after them, where they don't have a bad time, they go back. Not just because they really like that hotel, because they're worried about the alternative of pet friendly and going somewhere they won't have a good time. So what happens is, when a dog owner finds somewhere that looks after them, they go back again and again and again, and they tell other people about it, and that adds up. It all adds up incrementally, and they spend more money at a hotel when they're there than normal guests. They're really high value guests. And what happens to a hotel over time that adopts canine hospitality, takes it seriously, and treats it like a business is their revenues significantly rise based on it, you know, to the tune of millions a year. And in the process, they're building a moat around them, a loyal following of dog-owning guests that Pet Friendly left behind. That Pet Friendly's never getting back. You know, and if you think about it, Ed, in a city, in a big city, if 1 hotel or 2 hotels capture all those dog owners over a period of 1 or 2 years, because the dog owners are like, yes. And I can think of multiple cities where this is the case, by the way. We've got A+ hotels surrounded by Bs and Fs, and they're winning all the business. Once they've built that moat, it's really defensible, because it doesn't matter how hard a bad pet friendly hotel tries to, once they wake up and think, wow, we're actually letting lots of money walk out the door, right? If we're going to do dog pet friendly, we may as well do it properly. By the time hotels wake up and realize that, they've lost all their dog owners to the hotel that looks after them. That moat is defensible. The revenue is real. It lets hotels generate more revenue. It's you know, dog owners as a demographic, dinkwads we call them, double income, no kids with a dog. they're driving a revenue surge across the hospitality industry. And hotels that embrace that and get in front of it are the ones really profiting from it. So when we certify and rank a hotel, we're not just judging them and comparing them to everybody else.
Yeah.
We're mapping where they're making money and where they're not. So we can produce revenue analysis based on the data that helps them understand where they could be making money that they're not right now, unlocking revenue streams that they might not have thought about. We help hotels understand that the pet fee, dog owners don't mind paying one as long as there are real services, real hospitality, real access when they get there, as long as they feel looked after. Because dog owners are high value. Dinkwads have $258 billion a year to spend on leisure and hospitality with their dogs. And they do. Money, Ed, is the answer. Good dog-friendly hotels make more money than comparable hotels that aren't. Just the numbers are clear.
Yeah. Gosh, it makes that whole year of gathering data very worth it. And makes
talking to thousands of hotels as well.
Yeah.
I don't stop talking to hotel revenue managers and hotel GMs and marketing directors and sales directors.
Yeah.
Once they realize that, hey, we can make $500,000 a year from dog walking. We've got a big park in front, and dog owners will pay us $100 to walk their dog.
Yeah.
There's suddenly a lot of money in it. It makes sense to hire a full-time dog walker and just make more money. Dog owners love room service, dog food on the room service menu, and it's priced at human prices, but it costs so much less to make, and as long as it's organic and healthy for the dog. I order from room service and buy the pretty $50-$60 dog plates that the chef designs. You can take pictures of them and put them on social media because everyone loves doing that.
Yeah, some of us don't like to admit it though. I think I would have done it for my
I don't have children, so it's all about pictures of my dog for me. And look at my dog's cute food. And hotels that lean into that, they make more money. Dog owners are happier and spend money at hotels, that look after them.
Yeah. Guy, you have a really interesting background. Can you quickly walk us through that?
I don't come from the hotel industry at all. Or hospitality. I worked in security and technology for a very long time. In the US predominantly, working as a defense contractor with different federal government agencies. We were a cage code holding defense contractor building enterprise cybersecurity and intelligence platforms. And very interesting. I can quite proud of the fact I helped build some strategic technologies for strategic defense of really important assets. I worked for a long time with the National Nuclear Security Administration across multiple laboratories all over the US. And that's the agency that protects the US nuclear arsenal. So I worked on the cybersecurity and defense systems around that at UCLA, SAIC, at some incredible places, and had a wonderful experience and career in the tech space before I went to the dogs. I went to the dogs after 20 years. I became burnt out and I wanted to change. I wanted to spend the last part of my career doing something I really enjoyed, solving a problem that was important to me. And one day I thought, I can just start that dog-friendly ranking company I've always been meaning to, so I know where the best hotels are to go with my dog. So I've always had a dog with me. My dog's always by my side constantly. And one day I just decided to go to the dog's end and abandon my former career completely after such a long time and start doing Roch. Everyone mocked me at first. I was a member of different groups in the industry, and when people kind of saw me publishing reviews of hotels, they're like, "Well, what's he doing?" Right? It's people were laughing at me, and even my friends, "You got to the dogs, mate. What are you doing? Why aren't you with us working on this stuff?" Right? And it's I don't want to do that anymore. I had to explain to great colleagues, great friends, people I work with and people I was working with, I just wanted a change and a break, and I knew what to do next. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and it was Roch. What we really do here is Roch. We're really a data and AI company. It's underpins and powers everything we do, from the assessment, the verification, talking to hotels. They don't know they're talking to AI, of course. We mystery shop extensively in 30 languages using AIs that call them and say hi and ask them 4 or 5 questions. And over the course of a month, we've asked them 60, 70 questions from the concierge, front desk, housekeeping team, reservations. Our model is very, very much big data driven and AI. And it's not easy to see or tell that looking at us from the inside out. Because I don't talk about AI ever. Dog owners don't care about it. Hotels don't really care about it. But it underpins everything we do and lets us talk to thousands of hotels in 50 countries in languages I don't speak in real time, Lets us certify and assess hotels in Japanese and Korean. Answer the questions the hotels might have for us. It's really unlocked the potential of the business. We're an NVIDIA startup, and we were since day one. So we're part of the NVIDIA Inception Incubator program. I received an enormous amount of training and support and help from the team at NVIDIA, which I'm tremendously grateful for. And it's helped us come a long way. Punched so far above our weight. We're now known globally. We've truly entrenched a global standard of dog friendliness with the proactive model we have going out in the world, assessing, certifying, ranking, and reviewing hotels without their permission or without asking, because we want to gather the data. I've got 350,000 pet-friendly hotels in 80 countries to certify at. So there's a huge mission ahead of me. It generates enormous amounts of data, and it's AI-driven because there's no way we can do it otherwise. It's a really interesting, but I try to get away from tech. I find myself back in the middle of it again. It's I thought I was just going to stay at nice dog-friendly hotels and write reviews, but no, we're talking to thousands of hotels in Japanese and Korean.
Look, I know we could probably talk for hours on this subject, but I promised my audience that I would try and make it to 10 minutes. We're a bit over 22 minutes.
Right.
I'll finish with this question. You've got a choice of between two questions I've got. Either give us your best advice that you've ever heard, or a joke that you've heard lately. So either inspire us or make us laugh.
I'm going to default to pet friendly. The best thing I've seen lately is this British guy on YouTube. He's testing what pet friendly means at hotels by walking in with serpents, llamas, geese, honking geese, because pet friendly doesn't mean anything. And he did 2 series now. He's done farm animals, so he's turned up with pigs and donkeys, and he's like, "But this is my pet. You said you're pet friendly. I called you and asked you. I booked the room. You're pet friendly." And then he did the second one, turning up with exotic, dangerous animals. They weren't that dangerous. He had a chimpanzee, a honking geese. He turned up with this massive big python, a Commodore dragon lizard. I don't know where he got these things from, but it was just loads of fun, and I couldn't stop laughing. And the hotels, you could see it in their faces. When this man walks in with a honking geese and it's honking, he's like, and they realize he's here for the pet-friendly roomies, but they realize that maybe being pet-friendly is not such a great idea because it could mean anything, and it stuck with me. I'll send you that video. I think I published it on my LinkedIn.
Please do.
It's the funniest thing that's made me laugh in the last 2 years about it. It's the only way pet-friendly's made me laugh in the last 2 years.
You post it in the comment section of this video when it comes out.
I will.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
You should sponsor this person.
It's hilarious. I've been giggling at it all week, and it's what jumps into my head. I'll share a copy now.
Guy, look, thank you so much. This is a really interesting topic. I know most people would look at the headline and think it's boring, but there's so much interesting information. I wish you best of luck. I don't think you need luck, by the way. I'll
take it.
But look, thank you so much for your time, and there we go.
Thank you for having me on, Ed.
Thanks for listening in, guys. Again, please give me your comments on what you liked on this video. If you think I should add more questions, remove some, let me know. Thank you so much. Cheers, guys.